Hello, I'm Don Farr, the director of the Dedman School of Hospitality, and it gives me great pleasure to have with me a good friend, an alum of the Dedman School of Hospitality, actually alumnus of the year in the hospitality management at the Dedman School, and VP of Global Travel and Expense Management at Disney, Ann Hamilton. It is awesome to see you.
Nice to see you too, Don. Thank
And
you very
also has a
much.
son that went through the Dedman School, Ian Hamilton, through the Professional Golf Management Program. So, and I really appreciate you being here and spending a little bit of time so we can talk together.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Well, what I'd like to know first is talk about your climb to where you are currently. What did you do out of college, or where did you intern when you're at the Dedman School? What was your first job? And then when you got to Disney, what different jobs did you have at Disney?
Sure. Well, okay, that's a loaded question. So what I did when I was at Dedman, I did two things. One, I was getting my hospitality degree, but I also decided to minor in psychology because I was going to be in the people business. And I think that really came in handy. And then my professors worked with me to strategically graduate when there would be jobs in the market. So at that time, I wanted to work for Hyatt Hotels, and Professor Ashley Stiff had said, if you go 2 summers, you can kind of catch up and then graduate in the fall, and then hotels hire in the winter. And if I want to stay in Florida, so I wanted to stay in Florida, and so that was our strategy. And I graduated in the fall. I interviewed one interview with Hyatt Hotels. I was on opening team, opened 4 hotels, and that just kicked off and launched my career. And where I grew up in the hotel business, on the rooms side, I ended up in the food and beverage side, which then gave me this diversity of knowledge that when I had the opportunity and joined Disney, because of that background of having so much experience in different areas, that accelerated my career when I joined Disney.
Can you tell us just about a couple positions you had at Disney?
Sure. Well, for 19 years, first I was the director of group and events and resort sales and services. That role gave me the opportunity to work with a lot of leaders at Disney. And then our team was executing both the group business and the catering events and working with chefs, which gave me the food and beverage knowledge. And then I was promoted to vice president. I then had Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and Aulani, and opened the Aulani Resort in Hawaii. That's what I did for 19 years. And then an opportunity arose to come join Disney Corporate based in Orlando, leading the global travel organization, which was a significant change. But I had the travel background from actually growing up in the hotel business as a young person. And then because of my relationships within the company, that was important. And then I work with the airlines, the hotel company. So I went from being in the retail business with the same vendors that now I'm the customer. So that's been a fun transition, interesting but fun. And then expense management is an area that I was just given. So I went back and got my MBA. Unfortunately, not at Florida State, but I did go back and get my MBA at a later age than most. But that proved to really help me continue my career. So I'm in finance. So I'm in enterprise financial services for the Walt Disney Company. So I made a shift from hospitality to finance with that background. And I believe that's a great message for our students in the hospitality school at FSU, is that as you continue your career, be open to changes and look for opportunities, especially in today's environment, that you can progress with your career. And hospitality gets you there because the baseline is about people. You're working with people and to get a job done, or a position that you need to fill. But working with people is what I think is the biggest takeaway that I had in my career coming out of Florida State.
Well, congratulations. I know we're very proud of you and
Thank
as an
you.
alum and friend. So everyone I know wants to work at Disney. It doesn't matter how great their job is. They could be a professional hockey player and they want to go work for Disney. What is it now that Disney is looking for maybe in some of our graduates?
Well, right now is a very tough time. So I would encourage students to reach out into the industry and find someone who can mentor you. I believe in mentorship. When I came out, and then after about 4 or 5 years in the industry, next thing you know, I'm a single mom. I'm a woman, back then that was not common. And, I was a tough vet, and I had the opportunity that, a leader that believed in me and took me under his wing and grew me through my career. And so if someone wants to work at Disney, it's looking at the mentorship program, the internship program, the professional internship program. So we have all of these ways to start into the company, and then you progress through. I think the hospitality industry right now, I know you didn't ask me, this is my question, but right now is a very tough time. However, there are jobs. It may not be the job a student wants, but if you want to work for a company, you take the job that's available and you believe in yourself and you connect yourself through the company, and then you'll grow through it. And that's what happened with me. I was not, it just didn't happen. It was happenstance that I met someone on an airplane that worked for Disney, and 3 weeks later hired me away from another hotel company. But through my career, I have ensured that I've always had a mentor in different areas of the company and get to know people. And then, it creates partnerships, and then it's recommendations. And I've recommended many FSU students within the company to say, can you please, mentor this person, or can you please take a look at this individual for a role? And sometimes I'm successful, and sometimes there's just not an opportunity. But that's what those of us who have graduated from Dedman, the students should reach out to people like myself. And and Dedman has so many incredible graduates that are in different areas of the hospitality industry that can really assist.
Well, you brought up several points, one of which, and I think that's awesome advice, is the mentorship and the networking.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things that the Dedman School does great, because of alum like you and leaders in the industry like you who take an interest in our students, the class trips that we have. We do have a mentorship program. If they get up with Alicia Petrowski, she can help them out with the mentorship. Yeah. The other thing that you mentioned is it is a tough time in hospitality, but I am a really firm believer that hospitality is what will drive us through the economic crisis into recovery. Certainly in the state of Florida, thank you very much to Disney and many other companies in tourism in the state of Florida. But in the late 80s, when we had the recession, it was hospitality who took us out of it. After 9/11, it was hospitality who took us out of it. 2009-10, it was hospitality that took us out of it, led the way. And I believe hospitality and tourism will lead the way again. And for me, I think it's a scary time for graduating seniors. But like you said, you work hard, you believe in yourself, there's great jobs. And I think for incoming freshmen, the opportunities are fabulous, because in 4 years, people are going to be looking for new, innovative leaders and whatnot. So I think it's probably one of the most exciting times, at least I believe, for becoming a hospitality major.
I agree. And the hospitality program offers you the diverse knowledge, whether it's hotel, it's food and beverage, it's catering, it's taking advantage of all of those classes, and the finance and legal. Those were not my favorite, but look, how many years later, not my favorite classes, and here's where I'm sitting in the finance side of the world, right? So it's taking advantage of all of those classes, taking additional classes, I would say, in the finance area for your electives, and build your resume upon that. So it's not that you may have a desire to work for a hotel company, let's say right now, but there's so many jobs within a hotel itself. So it's not just one opportunity you're looking for, it's many. So you set yourself up as a student to have this diverse knowledge and experience, and the experience that you can get, because again, there are jobs out there and you just have to seek and find them. It may not be in the right geographic area that you want. It may not be the exact job you want, but it's a job, and take it and build on it. You are absolutely right. The hospitality industry is going to come back, and when it comes back, it's going to come back big.
So we talked about COVID a little bit, or briefly mentioned it. I was in the hospitality industry at resorts when 9/11 hit. It changed how we did business immediately. Most people, about 70% of the folks that visited us, flew in. It immediately overnight changed to 70% drove in to visit us. No more flying as much. Mm-hmm. Tell me, when COVID hit, what you can, how do you react? How do you make decisions? Can you kind of go through the process a little bit about where Disney's at and how you got there through COVID, how you managed it? Because you managed it very well.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's my area. So travel and expense management. The first thing we did was ensure everyone's safe. We shut down our businesses, and I think that's all of this is, public knowledge. So we have shut down, our parks and resorts business. We had shut down the cruise line, and then production. So pretty much our company completely had to shut down. Right away, the Disney organization came together and established protocols, and it's all about safety first. So it's about the safety of our team. It's the safety of all of our guests. And that's as we're slowly reopening businesses, it is because we've got those safety protocols in place. So all of our parks, except for Disneyland in California, which is again governance driven, is how we've reopened. But we've ensured that we are still providing the community a great product. And at the same time, the safety protocols are in place and they're followed stringently. And both for our first, it comes with our cast and anything our cast needs to ensure that they feel safe. And then they're providing the guests a safe experience. We're going to be growing ourselves back as a company, no different than after 9/11. And, again, that was a different circumstance, but there were a lot of precautions and changes that were made after that happened. So that's the same thing that's happening right now. And so I definitely can, everything I share with you, is public knowledge. And we made some changes in how we're going to structure our film and streaming business. And again, there's safety protocols about how we make movies and how we make television shows. All of that has changed, but all the protocols is that every single person is following those protocols and ensure a safe work environment, and that will, also translate then to our guests a safe experience environment.
Well, several years ago, I had the great opportunity of going to visit Disney Paris. Thank you. Can you tell me, has any of the properties, or have they all been affected kind of the same way? Do you approach them all the same way? Or I know the one, didn't you say the one in California, is that open yet, or that is not?
Yeah, that's still closed, but that's based on the governor's decision. So there's a lot of regulatory by state, as you know. And so, in today's world, we're monitoring, what borders are open by country, what are the quarantine requirements by state, and where we have people traveling place to place. Now, I feel it's safe to travel. That's my personal preference. Everybody is different. But, I work with the airlines and they're doing a tremendous job. The hotels, they're doing a tremendous job. They have great sanitization processes, car services. So all of our vendors are providing a safe experience for our working staff. And so I think that, again, going back to your comment, the industry is going to move forward. They are finding ways to say, okay, we have this COVID situation, and how are we going to get out of it? And safety to our employees and safety to our guests. And so that's the Disney philosophy, but it's also the philosophy of many major hospitality companies that we have internationally.
Well, we're really excited to have you here with us. And, for the students, again, that are listening, one of the great things about the Dedman School is to be able to network with folks like you, Ann. Any other comments or words of advice for our students before we let you get back to work?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You can tell I'm very passionate about mentoring. So, I implore the students to find a mentor outside in the industry. And then also be flexible about what your job, if you're coming out and graduating right now, there are many companies that are extremely successful because of COVID. Their products and services, kind of overnight became in demand. Look at those companies, and what you've learned in the hospitality school, it will translate into corporate America very easily. Mm-hmm. So be proactive in that way to say that it's not just the hospitality industry. Your skills and your knowledge that you've learned from Florida State can transfer anywhere and be applied accordingly. So it might not be exactly what you want, but take it, learn from it, and keep growing, because your entire career, it will be, you're going to have diverse learning. The more diverse knowledge you have, I believe you will move ahead within your career faster.
I agree. One of the cool things about meeting different alum and speaking with different alums during the downtime that we're having here with COVID is to see what they're doing now for a living and how their hospitality background and degree got them there, and some non-traditional hospitality positions and things like that. We have the COO of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as a graduate. We have lots of
Right.
different graduates in lots of different areas. And so it's really exciting for us. Anyway, Ann, thank you so much. You work for one of the greatest companies in the world. And I know they're blessed to have you, and we appreciate you being with us. You take care.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, John. I appreciate being invited. Thank you. Good luck to all the students out there. Go Noles.
Go Noles. Thank you.
Thank you.